Hey everybody, it's Astra. Today I'm not talking about my mental health or anything about my personal life. I'm going to be talking about a pet peeve of mine that really has bothered me when it comes to the job searching sector. I'm not personally looking for a job right now, but from everything that I can tell online and from plus other people my age that are kind of graduating college or getting close to it and looking for jobs, I feel like I had a piece to say about kind of the whole ghost and fake jobs that are kind of going around right now because it really pisses me off. It's really a pet peeve of mine. So if you don't know, right, back in the day, the way you got a job is you went through the newspaper. You looked through like posters in the town for like signs and posters in the town for where you could find work, or even went to like a job coach of some sort, right? And those still kind of do exist, but um, as the internet started to really take off, and I would say starting really in the 2010s, job searching became much more of an online thing. We're talking about Indeed, I think. Uh, Indeed, was it Glassdoor, I believe. What else? Like LinkedIn. You can find job searches and job posts on LinkedIn. But the problem is that these days, the problem is that these days, uh, every a lot of the jobs, like 60 to 70% plus of the jobs are ghost jobs, or they are listings for jobs that are not even available. Now, what do I mean by ghost jobs? I mean that hiring managers will put up like a job with a salary and benefits and everything like that, right? Like as if they're looking for a position to fill within a company, and it actually turns out that they have absolutely no intentions of hiring anybody at all. Now, if you know my political beliefs, if you know my political stances, I would consider myself part of the extreme left, the extreme far left. We're talking about past the Green Party in the United States significantly. We're talking about anti-capitalism. But I'm not going to be discussing that, all right? And I just want to tell you that I don't usually get upset over U.S. politics. What's going on in U.S. politics? It's not a major stressor in my life. I think partially because I just don't really. I have so much shit going on in my personal life that I don't really have time to focus on U.S. politics, and so so yeah. I am of the opinion that really nothing is going to change outside of our political duopoly. But I'm not going to be critiquing the system itself. I'm going to be critiquing this fake and ghost jobs shit and why it's hypocritical. Right? So if you are a job applicant and you're applying on Glassdoor or you're applying on Indeed, LinkedIn, to all these jobs, and a lot of these jobs are becoming more and more and more restrictive, right? 10 years ago, a college degree was worth a lot more than now, right? A college degree is becoming the new requirement. There are less jobs every day available that I mean there are plenty of jobs. You just have to search for them that don't require college educations or require other education that's not university. But the standard is that the number of college jobs that have dropped in terms of like only needing a high school, like that is like they're disappearing. You need a bachelor's degree, a 4 years bachelor's degree at the minimum for a lot of jobs these days. The majority of jobs, and you need years of experience and you need credentials. The requirements and the demands are only going up as time goes on. So I'm not going to be talking about that aspect. What I'm going to be talking about purely is, what if you were to lie on your resume or your CV? That's now now stay with me here, because I'm going to talk about this hypocrisy, right? So in a lot of states, or even some of the other countries, like the United Kingdom, and even indirectly, you can be criminally charged if you lie on your resume about potential certifications that you've earned, or like fake grades that you may have received from college. Basically, false credentials. You can get charged with some sort of fraud for, maybe a theft charge. Some states like New Jersey have strict laws against this in particular, in like legislation, or at least there's legislation going through that is there's legislation going through that is kind of targeting people that are lying about things on their resume. Um, there is so yeah, right. I mean, um, there's that, right? And then there's also, you can get sued in court as well, because if you're hired by a company, then they can sue you for quote unquote financial losses because you were not properly trained for the job, aka you know something that a sixth grader could do, working on Excel, but you weren't trained for the job, or of some variety, caused some sort of financial loss to the company by hiring you and not somebody that was ultimately qualified. Now, if this extended the other way, this would make sense. Okay, this would be a fair enough thing, right? If it, I mean, we can take a look at the jobs and how they're requiring people to do more and more and more, and I think that's a terrible thing. That nowadays, to get a $60,000 office job, you have to you have to have what, 5 years of experience. You have to have all sorts of credentials in addition to your bachelor's, a high GPA, everything like that, right? uh, and they don't, oftentimes they just use AI algorithms. They don't, so that's bad. But I'm going to be purely talking about the idea that you're basically cheating the company. You are cheating your employer, and it causes financial losses. I'm going to look through this with a capitalist lens, even though I'm a socialist. I'm an anti-capitalist, right? But but a lot of jobs, I would say, even the vast majority of jobs that are posted online now are fake jobs or ghost jobs with fake salaries, fake benefits, fake position fulfillments, and they actually do not have any. They do not have. They do not give any like sort of benefit. Like, nobody is actually going to get the job that is posted, so, or get the position that is posted. So, when you're applying for hundreds or thousands of jobs on these sites, because again, digitally, this is by far the most optimal. This is how it works now, right? Um, when it comes to the hiring industry, if you want to call it, these digital platforms now control everything. Pretty much everything. I mean, you could also apply on some of the company's sites, and I would say you'd probably have better luck with that. But these digital job hiring sites have now taken up really the way of searching for jobs. So you're not allowed to lie on your resume or your CV, and I can see people trying to defend that. I could see that, right? Like, I'm going to be fair here. However, if they post fake jobs or fake listings with fake salaries, and they require you to like upload a resume and a CV, and the thing is that I'm gonna talk about two things, but the hypocritical part is that you cannot sue the company for these fake or ghost job writings, because the courts don't consider your lost time as a financial loss, and that's quote unquote hard to approve of in court, even though we all know that time transactions equals money, right? Every single second that we spend that is not earning any, us any money in some way, is we're actually losing money. We're actually, we're losing money. It requires food and water to exist, like drinks, food to exist. There are other basic needs, of course, but and also your time is money, right? If you're not using your skill, you're not using your skill to gain some sort of money. Time is you can't replace time. So every single thing that you can think of when it comes to time can be converted into currency, can be converted into money that you're basically you're playing with. So right, so you're applying. So you have your resume, you have your CV, and you have everything that you need to show the company that you're interested in working for them, and you will never hear back from them. And in fact, a lot of them have AI sorting algorithms. I already discussed that, but they will not even take a look at your application because they have no interest in hiring you. They have absolutely no intention of finding some sort of candidate to fulfill the position. And the reason why they do this is because hiring managers want to make it look like the company is expanding, so things like shareholders are satisfied, and things like, making other employees happy. For example, if employees in a certain sector of a company are unhappy and they want somebody to kind of fulfill the position of work, the hiring managers can kind of fraudulently or kind of like buy off some time by putting up fake job positions or whatever, and they have no intentions of actually hiring anybody to help with the company, that company sector where the employees are. I would say it's really the first thing that I mentioned, though. It's really it also makes hiring managers look productive, so to speak, even if um, there's not really, any jobs to fulfill, so to speak. But it's mainly the first thing, which is that it boosts confidence. It boosts investor confidence. And this is a structural failure, in my opinion, especially because of just how many jobs are actually doing this. So, first of all, or companies are doing this. So, first of all, obviously, if you have the jobs report come back, and the stock market is extremely dependent on the jobs report and the economy. First of all, when you start having 60 or 70% of your modern office jobs, or 50, even we'll even say 40, 50, it doesn't matter. When you have a significant number of your office jobs that are now, or general jobs that are now fake listings, the kind of economic mismatch between like expectations and reality when seeing the data is could not be more, it could not be more misconstrued, misaligned. And this can cause some serious damage to the stock market and to, by extension, people's 401ks and retirements in the future, because there's all this, because jobs are economic activity, right? So when you're reporting that there's a huge amount of economic activity and growth, and things like revenue falls short, like, this company is not able to sell enough computers, and similarly, this other S&P 500 company is not able to sell cookies. It can cause a stock market spiral and a crash. And so you're seeing short-term gratification by listing all of these jobs in order to increase company confidence to investors. I think this is a very, very shaky, unstable thing to do for short-term gratification, so to speak. it causes a lot of economic damages. It also causes a lot of damages to all of the people that want to. Uh, you're basically wasting applicants' time. You're wasting the uh, the applicants that are trying to apply for all these jobs. They're not going to be able to find jobs because basically all of these sites are littered with like these fake jobs that nobody really is looking to hire for. And so you're getting good college degree, good degree candidates, qualified candidates that are now underemployed if they do find a job, and unemployed if they don't. These are skilled workers that are now being barred from the economy because of this wall, this dysphoric wall of basically junk jobs with very little to no um, very little to no desire to be fulfilled. And again, it's so you can't lie to them, right, and cheat them, but they can lie to you and cause considerable economic damage in terms of time and resources and energy, and you can't sue them in civil court, and it's still legally allowed. So I find it to be a massive hypocrisy. I think that even right wingers, if you're a capitalist, I think most capitalists, most mainstream capitalists would probably agree with me that this should be illegal, just purely based on the economic damages that it causes to the entire economy, just by the misalignment between reality and what appears to be. I would say that this is a very considerable threat to the economy, to by extension to everyone, to everyone that's involved. So that's all I wanted to basically state. I'm not here to make a critique of the entire system, which I absolutely could, and in some ways I have. For example, the mental health complex is a big part of the system that we live in, the corrupt system that we live in. But I just really wanted to discuss this because it pisses me off, and I had a few things to say about it. I hope that they make these things illegal soon. So, anyways, thank you. Goodbye.